You want to do the intro?
No.
Alright. Hello and welcome to episode 27 of the Nothing to Play podcast, a mediocre podcast about video games, movies, and moms named Martha. As always, it's your boy, Just in Time Carter, and this week I got returning guest of the podcast. You love him. He has a Kickstarter for Ross Battle, and he's near and dear to my heart, Matty Martin.
Hi.
How you doing, bud?
This is the first time we've done the podcast together in person.
In person, and like Jess isn't yelling in the background.
I mean, yeah.
Well, your computer is now in a side office thing instead of the living room.
Oh, well, there is that. Also, since we're probably together, this is just going to be a giggle fest for like, I don't know, solid hour or so strap in, folks.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, it took like 3 minutes to just even get recording because Matt kept coughing. Unironically. And ironically.
Also not because of COVID.
Totally unrelated. But I'm very excited. I've been talking about it on the That Pixel Life podcast, but it's finally happened. Boss Battle's funded.
Yeah. It got funded, and it took forever.
It still has 3 days to go, though, and a bunch of stretch goals. But I know Matt's been popping ibuprofen and sweating bullets for the entire month it's been going on.
If only I had also been vomiting, that would help me lose the COVID weight.
That's true. I was like, Matt has eaten his weight in Every Time Burgers and Korean barbecue.
Well, no, that's just because you and Megan keep coming over and we have Korean barbecue every weekend.
Because he keeps inviting us. I'm not going to turn down bulgogi.
That's not true. You show up at 10 o'clock with coffee.
Yeah, you're welcome. But how's it been, though?
Running a Kickstarter is exhausting, and I can't wait for it to be done. But, like Justin was saying,
Jesus Christ.
There's not a lot of room to move.
Well, don't swivel.
I can't help but do it. Also, what happened to our cool looking at ourselves thing? I think it's called a camera.
I mean, we can switch to that.
I mean, we don't have to. It's fine.
I mean, Matt's just tired of looking at the album artwork I made, so here, we'll switch on the video so you can see.
I mean, if I could delete a picture off the internet, any picture at all, it would be that one.
I love that one. The picture for the album artwork is from, we had this party, and Matt was very high and took my hat. No one from Matt's work listens to this podcast.
I mean, arguably, nobody listens to this podcast.
That's not true. I have at least 7 to 8 active listeners. Thank you.
But yeah, so we've met our first 2 stretch goals, and we're hoping to get a few more in. We don't expect to get a ton more, but we might get a flood of people. That would be nice. But I'm thinking this first Kickstarter is just going to be where it's at, and we'll get it out to people. Hopefully people will like it. Hopefully reviewers will like it. And then we'll do a second one, kind of, with any of the additional content that we've got done, including new bosses and heroes by people who funded those goals.
What's the biggest lesson you think you've learned through this entire thing? The biggest one.
Jesus. Know exactly how to phrase what you're trying to sell, so that way people who are looking at a page for 45 seconds know exactly what it is. Because boss battle is kind of tough to like categorize, and we've been talking with people for so long about like, and we've been working on the cards, and we've been doing the artwork for the cards, and the game board's been done. But in reality, the thing that makes boss battle special isn't the fact that it's a card game. It's the fact that you have the queue and you're managing your resources and your side and trying to make sure everything is in position so that way you can do stuff. It's more of a strategy game combined with a card game than just a straight up card game. And I don't think the Kickstarter originally highlighted that enough to where people could just, at a glance, without watching any videos or anything, understand that. I think that's the biggest takeaway. That, and make sure that your pricing is correct. Because while I think that the pricing we chose is good, I think that's perfectly acceptable. I think that combined with the first problem, people weren't understanding there's a lot of replay value in our game, so they're like, $75 is quite a bit if it's just a card game, so they weren't understanding that it's more than just that, and you can play the game a lot. Like, Chris has probably played the game more than any person we've ever met has played the game at this point, so...
Or should.
Yeah, no. I think he's kind of slowed down, maybe, but I because I haven't seen him jumping on recently, but I know that for a while there, like, every day I would look on Discord and I would see that he's on Tabletop Sim, so...
But that's because he has a kid, and his Stardew Valley farm's not going to manage itself.
Yeah.
But in other exciting news for this week... We had the DC, what was it called? DC Universe something?
It was like, I don't know what it was called. It's like the DC Comic-Con thing.
Yeah, make up a name.
DC Extended Universe? I don't know.
There you go. Yeah, that sounds epic. So we had the DC, it was a 2-day event this weekend where they talked comic book stuff, which I didn't even really hear a lot about that.
Well, neither of us are caught up on comic books, either Marvel or DC flavored at this point, so...
Yeah, and most of the people I'm friends with on Facebook are comic book posers anyway, so they're not going to post about it. Brent. But we saw, they showed a trailer for the new Batman movie. Mm-hmm. And what'd you think about that? Robert...
We're just gonna get straight out talk Batman? We're not gonna lead up to talking about Batman?
I mean, I already brought it up, so I feel like a dick if we circled back around.
Okay, we're gonna circle back around then.
Okay, fine.
Just so you could be on brand.
Alright, yeah. Because I'm an asshole. So they showed 2 gameplay trailers for 2 new games. There was the Gotham Knights one, mm-hmm. which is being made by the people who... Isn't it the people who made the shitty Batman game?
I think... I have no idea. It was by Warner Brothers Montreal. I know that's what the studio is, but I don't know if it was by the people who did...
Origins or whatever.
Origins.
I think it's by them, but I could be wrong. Don't put me on a cross for that.
I mean, again, circling back around to 8 people...
But then there was also the trailer for the Suicide Squad game, which is legitimately Rocksteady's new game. The people who do the Arkham Asylum series. And so the thing that pissed me off about it the most was that supposedly it takes place in the same universe as the previous 3 Arkham Asylum games. Yet, for whatever reason, in the trailer they showed... Harley Quinn is one of the members of the Suicide Squad in the game, but it's totally Margaret Robbie in the game, voiced by her, but it's a completely different looking Harley Quinn than what was in the previous 3 games, even though it's in the same universe. And from what I read on Twitter, a lot of people were butthurt because Deadshot's one of the other members, and I guess he was in one of the other Arkham games, and he was white, and they made him black like Will Smith from the movies, and people were like, well, that's not consistent with the same universe. And then people were like, well, if the character fits better, and they were like, we can't just make him black all of a sudden. Well, you're fucking racist. Well, all lives matter, and it just kind of spiraled.
I mean, that's generally the way those things go. I mean, I don't give a shit one way or another because, whenever you read comic books, it fluctuates all the time anyway. Who gives a shit?
It's like a soap opera.
I was substantially less interested in the Suicide Squad game after watching the trailer for the Gotham Knights. Yeah, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, you can play as all of the Bat family. That's really fucking cool. And it looks like the old Arkham games, but I mean, it's got the same kind of style and everything too, but it just looks more interesting to me. And they both seem like they're just going to be co-op style games. And it's just like, it's a really weird decision to do two of the same flavor of game, but you've just got a mix-up of characters, but I'm pretty sure it feels like it's going to play kind of the same. Or at least it looks like it will.
Yeah, one of the things that I think's cool is, and I'm kind of interested, I guess, to see how they do it, because Court of Owls is one of the enemies, like main storyline kind of enemies in the Gotham Knights thing. But if you read the comics, you know, Batman was heavily involved in the Court of Owls, and since in Gotham Knights, Batman is dead at this point, quotation marks, it's going to be, I guess, interesting to see how they kind of adapt that storyline to not center around, like, the Wayne family, or if they're still going to, like, involve, like, the Wayne, because the whole storyline for Court of Owls is basically, like, it's this underground people who were, like
Illuminati society.
Yeah, they were heavily involved, like, in the, like, birth and, like, building and stuff of Gotham. But, like, one, like, interesting, it's like they've always been around, but nobody's really known that they've been around. But there's been, like, signs throughout kind of, like, the history of Gotham and stuff that they've, like, always existed. And it's a secret kind of high society thing that they have going on. And then, like, Bruce Wayne finds out that, like, in his, like, buildings and stuff, that, like, the Court of Owls have, like, nests and stuff, like, in the building. They've always been there, sort of stuff, like, spying and watching and stuff. So it kind of throws Bruce for a loop that there was someone who kind of, like, out-Batman the Batman.
So, I have two thoughts on it. One, I don't think it's too weird because, like, there's kind of a gap in time whenever Bruce gets kidnapped by the court and he's, like, going insane in the, like, underground labyrinth that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So you could argue maybe that he's just missing instead of dead. But I'm sure this prediction's already been thrown around, but I'm willing to bet anything that Talon in this game, aka, like, the assassin for the court, is probably Bruce, just brainwashed, instead of him being dead.
I mean, that would be an interesting twist.
I would bet pretty good money on it that seems like a likely thing.
I mean, spoilers, but it's like, I know a lot of people were pretty pissed at the end of the last Arkham game that basically that, like, wasn't Jason Todd the White Knight?
Or something like that. I have no idea, I didn't play it, so...
Oh.
I played the first two, and then I haven't played any of them since.
Yeah. I mean, but you had that cool PS3 Collector's Edition of Origins.
Oh yeah, where did that go?
It's still in the box somewhere. It has that cool Joker statue thing in it.
Yeah, I have no idea where that went.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Too bad, so sad.
But, so there was those two games. I'm really surprised that I'm not more interested in the Rocksteady game, because I figured, like, something Suicide Squad related might be cool. But I think the other thing that kind of turns me off from it is it seems like it's just 4 characters, when in reality, like, the squad should be more than that, and it would be cool if, like, you start out with, like, a bunch of different characters, and gradually over the course of the game, they just get killed off.
One dies and you get a new one. It's like Rogue Legacy, where you're like, oh, cool, I have Captain Boomerang, and then his neck thing blows up, and you're like, oh, and it's like,
oh, cool, I've got Kite Man.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, man, I really fucked up. You're like, I wish I had Captain Boomerang again. And then there was the Suicide Squad movie, James Gunn. Good boy James Gunn working on that Suicide Squad movie. Is it a solid reboot?
I want to say it's probably like a soft reboot. Like
Deadshot and all the other people from the first movie just fucked off somewhere, and they're like, now you get these people.
Oh yeah, Deadshot's not in it at all. It didn't register to me at all. But
no, he's not. The Killer Croc isn't.
You still get Captain Boomerang though, so that's all I really give a shit about.
Well, yeah. Was it El Diablo or whatever is not in it?
Didn't he die at the end?
Fucking no, man.
We're gonna get into that, I guess. But
oh yeah, there's a surprise later that
after we're done talking all about new stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm the sheer amount of people that is in that new Suicide Squad movie is insane.
Yeah, it's like 16 people, and I agreed with Matt when he said that he guarantees by the end of it, it's basically going to be like Margaret Robbie, Captain Boomerang, and maybe 2 other people if you're lucky, and the rest
Amanda
of them are
Waller.
Gonna die. Well, yeah, that bitch always gets out.
But no, I'm excited for it. I mean, I love James Gunn, and like he can. I love both of the Guardians films, and he can handle a team flick. So, like, I've always thought that he would do a great job with the Suicide Squad movie. As it's like he announced that he was working on. I'm like, yeah, no, that's a perfect fit.
Yeah, I think he said I watched because the trailer thing wasn't like a normal trailer. They showed a lot of behind the scenes footage and stuff, and I think because of COVID, like a lot of the filming and stuff probably still needs and editing and effects and whatever still need done, so they used a lot of behind the scene footage. And in that, he was saying, I think that this was like his biggest movie or whatever, like that he's done.
I mean, you could always say that, but I'm pretty sure that's true, just given the ensemble of people that he's managing.
Yeah. Just like every book is a New York Times bestseller.
But no, I think it's gonna be good. Like, honestly, I was really surprised with the stuff that DC came out with, because I'm normally not a huge DC movie person, but I was pleasantly surprised with everything that they put out during the conference. What was the next thing? Black Adam. That was a short little thing.
Yeah.
I don't think you got to see it, but they also announced that, I don't know if they're in the movie or not, but you have Dr. Fate, you've got Hawkman, you've got Atom Smasher, and one other character, and somebody's going to tell me it'd probably be Troy. He's probably going to scream in the screen or something. But,
he already is.
But they're going to be in Black Adam, or at least that's what the impression I was getting from the trailer that they were showing, but I mean, it seems like I've always, like, ever since The Rock was kind of like, yeah, no, I totally want to do this. And I'm like, yeah, no, I can see that. As long as he kind of tones down, like, his more jokey persona, and he's, like, the serious kind of persona, Black Adam's gonna be dope. And he's definitely, like, he's up there on, like, the DC villains list for me, because he's like DC's Doctor Doom, so...
And they don't have to pad anything, because that motherfucker be stacked.
That's true. I mean, there's not much else to talk about, because they didn't really they probably haven't filmed it or anything, and they just had some animatics, so, but it's still pretty cool.
Let's talk about Batman now.
I gotta talk about Wonder Woman.
Oh, that's right, I forgot, yes. Wonder Woman 1984?
Yeah. I think it looks good.
I mean, it looks like another one that supposedly was it fucking what's his name? The dude from Star Trek. He plays Steve.
Oh, I was gonna say Steve Trevor, but like that's not his actual actor name.
No, I don't remember.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
William Shatner.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Captain of the Enterprise.
Yeah. The best captain.
Debatable. Everyone knows that this is a Picard house.
But no, I really like the Wonder Woman trailer. I think it's gonna be really good. I don't know if it'll be as good as the first one.
The funniest meme I saw on Twitter after the Wonder Woman trailer was someone took a screenshot of the trailer of Cheetah, and then they took a screenshot of that one bitch from fucking Cats, and they were like, who wore it better?
God damn it.
like not even like new Cats, like before Human Hands Cats. I thought that was pretty great. But yeah, I imagine, I mean...
Well, I was pretty excited to see Cheetah, honestly, and it didn't look half bad.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's what happens whenever you actually, give a shit about your CG cat people.
I mean, honestly, in my humble opinion, Wonder Woman of the DC Universe movies, I think, is probably the best, like, most consistently good throughout movie that they have.
Yeah, I agree.
Of the newer stuff, where they didn't force Justice League members in it. They had, like, a clear villain and a clear, like, end. They didn't force, like, some join the Justice League.
No, they just kind of did what they did, and they set up the universe really well. And arguably, that scene where she's jumping out of the trenches and going through Dead Man's Land is, like, the coolest scene in most superhero films. So, and that's me, who is a huge Marvel fag, saying that. So, that's it.
Batman.
I hear there was supposed to be something about Aquaman too, but we can skim over that because I didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about Batman now.
Alright. Shovelface, aka Robert Pattinson.
I really like it.
Dude, I wasn't like when they announced that he was Batman, I wasn't immediately like, ew, Twilight Boy, like, where, because he's been in
other things.
Yeah, like Oscar nominated stuff since then. So I wasn't solely judging him on the guy from Twilight.
See, I wasn't either, and I was like, nah, he might do a good job. And like almost every universally, you always see bad reactions to people playing Batman, so that's why I didn't care. And then that image of him in the bat suit came out, and I'm like, I really am not digging it. I'm not digging it at all. And then this trailer came out, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go a whole 180 on that and say I really do like it a lot.
Yeah, I wasn't, like, 100% sold, like, leading up to it. Like, I was like, he's, like, really young and, like, skinny and stuff, and I was kind of like...
It works really well for, like, a really early in his career Batman,
yeah, like year one, kind of, like, it's... Because this movie, looking at the trailer... It's definitely not year one, but I think it's definitely earlier.
They've gone on record and say it's year two Batman.
Yeah, because I know the general plot, I guess, is kind of based around The Longest Halloween. Which... I
can't remember if the movie is based around Long Halloween, or there's supposed to be a mini-series that's coming out that is based off of it. I can't remember what. But the thing that made me the happiest Bat fan on the planet is that the movie really does a good job at nailing Batman tone, but it also seems like it's finally going to be a fucking detective movie.
Yeah, that's like, as soon as I saw the envelope with the question marks, I was like, dude, are we getting some world's greatest detective shit right now?
Yeah, supposedly the villain is Riddler, and Penguin's in it. And we obviously see Catwoman in it.
Early Catwoman.
Yeah.
Like, Nike fucking jorts and a ski mask Catwoman.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited because I've wanted to see a Detective Batman story in the movies forever. And anyone who knows me knows that that's the case.
But yeah, I was pretty much immediately like, alright, I fucks with him as Batman when... The scene came where it was the group of people, and he just he punches the one dude, but he doesn't just punch him.
He snaps his arm.
He wails on him like 4 or 5 times as these other dudes are just like looking on in horror, like not moving an inch as he's just like beating their friend into the fucking ground, like which that's what led me to also believe that this was like kind of year 1, year 2, because I was like, this is kind of like he hasn't quite figured out how much force
he's still super angsty young Batman.
Yeah, like interrogating people by like dangling them off the edges of buildings, like mobster style, like Batman to get information. And when they were like, "Who are you?" and he's like, "I am Vengeance," I was like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, no, and he nails like the really gruff Batman voice without it being like the Christian Bale voice.
Yeah, where it sounds like his mask is kind of like cutting off his throat a little bit, where he's like, "Yeah, Alfred, I need to."
But no, I think it's going to be super good. Like, I'm 100% on board with this. And I'm even more on board because I think during the conference, or like maybe after the conference, people were asking like, well, does this have anything to do with Affleck's Batman? And they're like, nah, it's just another universe. So I'm completely on board with that kind of explanation at this point, especially if they embrace the kind of multiverse stuff. And it's taken a while for Marvel to even get into that, and they're arguably not there yet even. But if DC's going to jump on the multiverse bandwagon, that's cool.
Or I was like, honestly, yeah, my thing is, I also kind of think with the success that they saw with Joker kind of being a one-off standoff thing, like, if they make it just its own sort of, like, trilogy or whatever, like, I'm fine with that. You don't need to force an entire, just because Marvel does an entire connected, you don't need to do it. If you can get success and give me good fucking, like,
superhero stories,
then,
yeah.
If it's what it takes is you just keeping everything separate and doing your own thing with it without trying to jam it all together, do that. Make good movies. Like, don't force Justice League 2 movies in to try and catch up. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love the Marvel movies, and I love its interconnected world, and I love all the little nitty-gritty bullshit, but, like, I mean, I have read just as many comics that are just cool one-off comics that, like, they don't connect with anything, there's no big event that happens, it's just a one-off story, and it's like, yeah, no, that's super dope, I'm fine with that.
Was there anything else in the DC thing?
I think there was supposed to be something with, I don't know if it was during the conference or not, but they briefly talked about Flash.
Oh yeah, I saw he got a new suit. It looks way better than the fucking Power Ranger one that he has now.
I actually don't think I've actually seen it. I've just seen the silhouette of it.
Oh man, I forget who posted it. Someone posted a picture. I don't remember who.
And then you've got Affleck coming back to be Batman in that film, which is really cool.
Yeah, let's see. New Flash movie uniform. Yeah, but I should probably put suit instead of uniform.
I mean, it is a uniform, but you're probably gonna.
There.
Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, that looks like more comic-y.
And that is 100% Michael Keaton's Batman.
Exactly. So, yeah, if you want, we looked up, what the fuck is it? New Flash movie suit. It looks very much kind of like the comic book suit with the little, like, glowy vein kind of stuff going.
Yeah, it looks a lot like the new. It looks like a lot like the new 52 suit kind of.
Yeah, which is way better than the bulky, I'm gonna go fight fucking Ultron suit that he has in the current movie universe. So yeah. I'm totally here for it.
Oh, the other thing that they did, they had that trailer for the Snyder Cut.
Oh yeah, that's it. Are you even? So let me ask you this: Are you even like interested?
I mean, if it could make Justice League better, then sure. I didn't like Justice League, like, almost at all, so.
Well, neither did I, but it's kind of like one of those things where, for me, I don't know. It's like, if it had come out maybe, like, a year or so after.
It's also a 4-hour movie. Yeah, it's like 4 hours, and they're just going to be doing it over streaming, I think. Which is. That's an insane amount of movie.
Well, yeah, that's my thing. Is like, do they have that much footage that they can pull that off?
Apparently they do. That's insane. Like, that they have that much footage. But, I mean, I believe it.
If it's going to be that long, alright. I might be getting pulled back in right now. Because I was kind of thinking it was just kind of like them...
Extra features kind of thing?
Just like recutting, like, the original movie with, like, some extra stuff. I still imagined it being, like... a 2-hour movie still.
No.
And then just kind of like recutting whatever, maybe being able to make it so that Batman's upper lip doesn't look fucking like silly putty.
Superman.
Whatever. Yeah. Michael Keaton.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be that long, and from what I'm understanding is like, I mean, for me, like, it seemed like there was some stuff that was kind of off with Justice League, like they were just kind of missing some stuff, so maybe it kind of fills in the blanks. Like, whenever they were changing creative heads or directors, that there were just some decisions that were kind of axed, and that kind of made it feel a little bit more disjointed. But maybe the extra time spent with each one of the characters might make it feel more like a team flick, instead of it being like, oh yeah, no, we're just gonna go fight random CG guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, they had the one shot where it was kind of them all together, and I was like, I honestly don't even remember that shot in the initial movie where it showed them from, like, behind, all standing there together as, like, a team.
Yeah, no, like, that wasn't there. Like, there's a lot of stuff that they apparently added. I mean, there has to be for it to be 4 hours long.
Yeah.
But, no, I'm pretty excited. I might watch it. I mean, I'm gonna have to do it in, like, shifts, because that's a long movie.
First little, like, 30-minute episodes.
Well, I'll do it in a weekend, and I'll just, like, watch an hour here, and then watch an hour there, and then kill the other 2 hours on Sunday or something.
Matt has the bladder of a small child.
It's very true. I'm drinking water now that I think about it.
That's a bad move, Cotton.
But yeah, that was the DC stuff. I really would like to see Disney respond with anything of that value, because I'm really sick of seeing the Black Widow trailer for, like, the 15th time. Because I think the Black Widow trailer came out, like, in November last year.
Well, yeah, I mean, the movie was supposed to be out in, like, what, February?
No, May.
May?
Yeah.
Whatever. It was still supposed to come out, like, 4 months ago.
Yeah, it was, their May 2nd film. Like, you know, they normally do one at the very beginning of May, and that's what that film was supposed to be.
Yeah, so the movie should be done. I'm like, I guess, I almost feel like what they're really trying to do is they're gonna see how Mulan performs in terms of people paying $30 to download the movie and own it and watch it.
That seems like a shitty choice for, like, how to pilot whether it's a good decision or not, because I know I won't be watching Mulan.
Well, yeah, neither will I, but I'm just like, I feel like that's kind of what they're gonna do, and if it makes, like, X amount of dollars for them, I feel like they're like, alright, let's do this, but with Black Widow now. I think that's kind of what they're waiting on to see if it's a viable option, because they don't want to necessarily release it for free, but I don't think they want to wait until all the theaters reopen again to try and put it in theaters either. Well, I think they're trying to get their money now.
Well, for me, even if they don't, like, do something with Widow, like, I just want to see, like, some new stuff. Like, they haven't made any real announcements. They kind of have, like, a timeline for when things are happening. But, like, even with the DC stuff, like, they had nothing to show for Black Adam aside from, like, The Rock narrating something over, like, an animatic. And I'm like, fuck, I'll take that for, like, the Eternals or something. Something to get me hyped up for any of the, like, random series of movies they decided to do for Phase 4.
Well, and so it's like, that's kind of my problem right now, too, to be honest, is really, one, I don't give a shit about Black Widow. I really don't. And Shang-Chi, I haven't seen anything, and they haven't really given me anything to really give a shit about that either. It's like, I really want Doctor Strange. I want the next Doctor Strange, and I've wanted that since the first movie, and it kills me that, you know, that movie's, like, supposed to be, like, third or fourth in line of the Marvel movies, and, like, the first Marvel movie of the new phase, which is Black Widow, hasn't even come out yet, so I'm like, fuck, like, I have to sit through Black Widow, and then wait for...
I'm honestly more excited for, like, WandaVision and, like, Falcon and the Winter Soldier than I am for, like, Black Widow.
Well, yeah, and that's what sucks, though, is, like, Black Widow should be done, but I know they were still filming and doing, like, post-production bullshit for Falcon and WandaVision, and I don't even think they even started filming for Loki or anything like that yet. So it's like all of that got pushed out to where you're going to be lucky to probably even, like, see anything on that until next year.
My thing is, like, Black Widow doesn't seem like it's going to set up anything for the phase. I mean, I could be wrong, but the Marvel movies really live or die based off of, like, I mean, A, them being good movies in their own right, but also kind of like moving the universe forward. And if you're not moving the universe forward, it's like, what's the fucking point? I could argue that that's not always the case, but like right now they don't have any of their original Avengers members. They don't have a villain that they're building up to. They don't really have anything right now. They just have Black Widow, who's already dead.
That's true. That's the most like heartbreaking thing is this movie. It's like you're watching a character who you know is not going to really progress forward past this point.
And the only thing that they can do is like set some stuff up. And I know there's rumors that like Ross is in it, and they might like set up like some Thunderbolts related stuff, which would be cool. And I know what was Stature going to be in Ant-Man 3. That's some cool stuff that they could do to set up Young Avengers, which would be cool also, because they're lacking an Avengers team right now. But other than that, like, I think until they start getting some of the Fantastic Four and some of the X-Men stuff trickled in.
I mean, ultimately, that's my thing that I kind of hope for, is I know they said before that after the whole, like, Infinity War saga that for a while they weren't going to have, like, another, like, big bad or anything like that. But I think that would almost be the next best thing, like, the cool things of having, like, one big bad is if the movies led up to the point where, like, the big Infinity War movie is AVX. Avengers vs. X-Men.
I mean, that'd be cool.
And that's, like, what it leads up to is it's kind of building up this, like, you know, the Avengers aren't bad guys, and the X-Men aren't bad guys, but it's like they end up coming to, like, this impasse where they end up having to fight each other, and then that's, like, the big movie is them going against each other, and I think that would be cool if, like, the fallout from that is the Avengers disassembling, and then the X-Men are kind of, like, messed up. And then out of all the chaos in the end of the battle, that's when Doom steps in. And then Doom takes over. And then because of Doom, that's, like, when then, like, Reed Richards and stuff ends up having to, like, try and, like, hunt down, like, the Avengers and get them, like, reassembled and stuff to help try and take down Doom because he's built an empire, like, in the wake of, like, the Avengers not, like, existing anymore.
Well, I mean, arguably Avengers are already assembled. They're not there. But I was going to say, I know that there's rumors, and I think me and Troy were talking about this a little while ago, that the rumored villain for Black Panther 2 is Doom, or Doom at least appears in the movie. There's also rumors that Namor might appear in the movie, because, you know, Black Panther has no more villains. Like, They had all three of their villains in the movie, and two of them are dead.
T'Challa, no.
Spoilers for, I don't know, probably a close to 3-year-old movie now.
It's on Disney Plus, man. Anyone who's seen it's gonna see it already.
Yeah, I don't understand why they didn't do any of their sequel films. I mean, I guess Homecoming was. Was that a post? Yeah, it was a post-Endgame film. That was technically the start of the phase.
Yeah, because, Tony's dead.
Yeah, that's it. Spoilers again for a 2-year-old movie.
I mean, I think that's also on Disney Plus.
It is. The Spider-Man Homecoming... Spider-Man Homecoming? No. Far From Home isn't, actually. So, sadly.
Spoilers, it's not on Disney Plus.
But, yeah. I think that's all the Marvel shit that I wanted to rant about.
I know, I like how this was a fucking DC event, and somehow good guy Marvel still ended up coming out in the end.
Well, not really. I mean, I ended up bitching a lot about them because they don't have fucking anything to look forward to right now. I mean, I could argue the same thing about Nintendo.
I mean, I said this to Matt earlier today, and I'll say it again, though. Unlike... I mean, Microsoft doesn't have anything coming out either. I mean, neither does Sony. No one's even announced when the new consoles are. It's fucking almost September, and this shit, they've just been saying a holiday 2020. And it's like, what are you gonna release? Like re-release Assassin's Creed Black Flag for the PlayStation 5? Like
no, you know what's coming out for it?
Fortnite.
Oh no, I was gonna say
Minecraft.
Skyrim.
I'll pay $70 for Skyrim on PlayStation.
You're such a pleb.
Like, let me be the Dragonborn one last time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not going to buy the new consoles anyway. I just want some more stuff for my Switch. Although you could argue I have tons of indie games on my Switch, but I'm not playing any of them because the Kickstarter is killing me.
Yeah, the Switch, to me, is like, in 2020, is what the PSP was to me back in 2008, 2009.
Only you're legally buying them this time.
Yeah.
Instead of fucking bricking PSPs from here to next Sunday.
But to be fair, even on my PSP, you still caught me playing Wario Land. Because I love Wario Land.
I mean, that's probably the last console you were able to play it on, so...
RIP. Press F to pay respect, boys. We ain't getting another one. But so anyway, yeah, no, back to Nintendo, though. Nintendo's, unlike Xbox and Sony, whatever, Nintendo's totally one of those people, though. They play everything so close to the chest that it's like, they could literally go on Twitter tomorrow and be like, oh yeah, Bayonetta 3 comes out October 26th.
I mean, they could.
Yeah, they do shit like that. They did that for Paper Mario. Fucking, they were just like, oh yeah, here's a trailer for the new Paper Mario. Oh, by the way, comes out in a month. Like, they do shit like that all the time. They just were like, oh yeah, Pikmin 3, the Deluxe, comes out in October.
I mean, I'm definitely going to buy Pikmin again.
Oh, I know you are.
I love Pikmin so much.
He has a little Pikmin biodome on the desk.
Yeah, they're adorable.
But yeah, so Nintendo, I could totally see them having, like, they're usually like one kind of like bigger kind of like first party game a month sort of thing. So it's like if Pikmin's going to be their October one, I don't think anything else is going to come out October, but it's like there's nothing coming out in November or December that we know of.
And you would assume that they would have something for the holidays.
Yeah, so I'm assuming I can't think of anything that's coming out next month that's theirs. And they already locked in Pikmin, so I'm thinking there's still 2 or 3. I'm still hoping on, supposedly, they announced, the Mario Anniversary. I want my Sunshine remaster.
You need both.
I heard the rumors, and I want it. I will pay. Nintendo's notorious like, oh, you're going to pay the Switch? I will pay the $60 to get Sunshine on the Switch. Don't think I won't. I will pre-download that shit day one that becomes available.
Well, yeah, I just want to play Sunshine again, and I don't want to have to, I don't even have my GameCube anymore, so I can't even do that.
Yeah, I mean, I go back and play Sunshine, every couple of years because it's one of my favorite games, despite its flaws. And the idea of having Mario Sunshine with Odyssey controls is like a wet fucking dream to me.
That's all I got.
Oh.
I don't have anything to add to that.
Nothing?
And nope, just I like Sunshine as well, and it's probably one of my favorite 3D Mario games.
True. I was like, there was and that's the thing, we haven't had a legitimate Nintendo Direct in I don't know how long. The last couple Directs have either been Direct Minis, which didn't really have any first-party game information, or the last couple have been Indie World ones, which this last one was fantastic. And
I mean, they all are. I mean, I always love whenever Nintendo highlights their indies, and I will always give them credit that they like to put them front and center whenever they can, probably because they need content for the console, but also, I mean, indies need some love, and they all work really hard to get those games done.
Well, and it's hard because you go on the Switch, you go on the eShop, and it looks like the fucking Valve store where it's just flooded with PG-13 hentai bubble pop and all this mobile shit that didn't sell on mobile, but maybe it'll sell on the Switch for a couple extra dollars. And all the good shit gets lost all the time, so it's cool that they do
try to highlight the really good stuff.
Yeah, they highlight the good stuff, and then it's nice because they highlight the good stuff, you can go to the actual featured screen and find the stuff.
Well, you could also argue that it'd be really cool if Nintendo just didn't let that shit get on their console, but...
Yeah, or it'd be cool if, they realize, like, if they were able to update the algorithm in a way where it's like, I bought Torchlight 2 and this game, you would also probably like, and then it recommends premium games to you that are, like, within the same price range, within the same kind of genre and stuff, and then you can discover more good games that way, and it'll help filter out all the shit games that you're not interested in, because there's currently no way to do that besides just searching directly by, like,
well, Nintendo did have a rating system on there for a small amount of time, and then I assume enough, like, developers that weren't good, that were just throwing shovelware on the system, were getting downvoted all the time, so, like, Nintendo stopped.
Bouncy Bob filed a cease and desist because they couldn't sell Bouncy Bob for their 99 cents.
Yeah. But,
dude,
I mean, I don't even get to play games right now, so...
That's true. Matt just gets to down ibuprofen and sweat profusely as he keeps refreshing the page for the Kickstarter.
I try to only check it twice a day just for my own health.
I check it like 6 times a day for him.
PJ checks it like every 7 hours, like every minute, so...
PJ has a iPhone 7 Velcroed to his kid's back so he can constantly see it.
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
Because he's chasing his kid all around the house.
It probably doesn't even need Velcro. It's just stuck to his back because kids are fucking disgusting.
And sticky.
And wet. And little shit.
Alright, we're going to move on to the other thing we were doing.
Yeah, so, because of the whole DC universe, whatever stuff that's going on, I put together on tier.com a list of all...
Nina's cloak.
What? Cloak? Oh yeah, Nina's cloak. And, that's better than the ads that were on there last time.
They were a little bit not safe for work.
Yeah.
Risque, if you will.
Pirate porn. But no. I put together a list of the DC live action movies from 1989 to 2020, because there were some earlier than that. Like, there's like a 1960 something Batman and like the old Superman movies, but I know I've seen a couple of the Superman ones, but I couldn't tell you what actually happened in them or anything like that.
Or which one was which one.
Yeah, so I felt there was like a Swamp Thing one. But it's like, this was a good jumping because I have seen the 1989 Batman. So that was a good jumping on point. Because out of all these movies, there's only 2 that I haven't seen. And I'm assuming they're just utter shit. So we're going to be rating them. We got this nice little rating chart here. And it goes from God tier, great, pretty good, decent, watchable, and unwatchable. And I figure we'll just kind of go in alphabetical order of the movies and just kind of go down the list. So we got stuff that's a part of the DC universe, and then a lot of not DC universe like Batman and stuff, and it goes all the way up to Birds of Prey or the fabulous introduction of Harley J. Quinn, whatever the fuck the name was, and they were like, we're losing the Sonic at the box office, let's just change it to Birds of Prey because our audience is borderline retarded. So let's start off with Aquaman. Where do you think?
Well,
think
first
Aquaman
off, just
should
looking
go?
at this list, I guarantee I'm gonna piss off Tanner and Troy at least once on this list.
I know it. I know Tanner and our friends Tanner and Troy, who have both been on the podcast multiple times, are they are very well known DC fanboys, and Tanner has also gone out of his way multiple times to defend movies such as Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman and stuff like that. So I know this list is probably gonna piss him off. But so where do you think Aquaman should go on this list?
So that's really tough because Aquaman, I've only seen it once.
I have also only seen it once.
And I really, like, the whole time, like, there was things that were really good about Aquaman, and there are things that are just awful about Aquaman. And it's just, like, I really want to like Aquaman for a lot of things, but I also just given the lineup of stuff, I mean, I'd probably put it somewhere in the middle.
I would put it at... I'm willing to put it... The highest I will go on it is pretty good.
Yeah, I was looking at it around there, or decent.
I mean, I'm willing to put it at decent.
Alright, it is decent.
Alright, because yeah, the hair in that movie, especially for his sister or wife, whatever her name is
Mara?
Yeah,
Mara?
Is awful.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, the thing that kills me about that movie is, well, there's just a lot of weird things about the plot structure, such as any exposition dump being interrupted by explosions to make things exciting again. But there is a lot of exposition in that movie, like, to the point where I'm like, man, they're explaining a lot of things in that movie, and normally I can get past exposition dumps, but, I mean, there's a lot. And there's just times where it's like, whenever they're going into Atlantis and they're explaining the security checkpoints, and I'm like, that's Chekhov's gun. That's going to be used later for them to not be able to get out of the city. And it's just like, there were times where the exposition was just pulling me out of the movie.
my complaint was these shots of Atlantis were gorgeous, and then you see the rest of the movie, and I'm like, oh, that's where the budget went, was making Atlantis look good. And then they were like, well, now we have $36.42 to work with the rest of the movie.
I mean, the fight at the end is pretty cool with, like, the big war scene and then, like, the fight between him and Ocean Master.
Yeah, they're, like, riding on seahorses to battle.
They also did my boy Black Manta pretty dirty, so, I mean, there's that.
Man, it's like, honestly...
That alone is a reason to knock it down from pretty good.
It's watchable. Next up, 1989, Batman.
So, I'm trying... All of the earlier Batman movies kind of blur together to me for whatever reason, and I don't know why, because the Schumacher Batman movies are nothing like the other ones, and I can't...
Here, do we need to pull up the...
Hey, films based off Batman.
Yeah, well, here's the list of... Oh, yeah, see, here's the list. I don't know if you can see. I'm recording... Okay, you can. Cool, that's awesome. The video, because here, it goes as early as 1951 with Superman and the Mole Men. And I was like, never saw it. And I was like, next one, Stamp Day for Superman. Like, these are all really riveting as you can to 1966 Batman, Superman, Superman 2, Swamp Thing, Superman 3, Supergirl, Superman 4. I didn't even realize there was a fourth one.
Yeah, I knew there was a fourth one. I've just never seen it.
Alright, so, a little refresher here. Batman, 1989. Yep, directed by boy Tim Burton, who, if he could have at the time, probably would have put Johnny Depp in it. Jack Nicholson was the Joker.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes. So, Michael Keaton was Bruce Wayne.
This is one of the ones that I've probably seen once. Way back, so I could not even tell you where I would put it on the list, but I know it's pretty well liked.
It's one of those where, I mean, it's definitely aged, but...
It's definitely not as bad as Batman Forever.
Yeah, it's definitely entertaining, and I actually went back not that long ago, and me and Megan, we watched this, and we watched Batman and Robin, and Batman Forever, and Batman, we watched all of these, and I would say, I would definitely put this, the highest I would go on it is pretty good. I think pretty good is like a solid spot. It's still entertaining. I honestly would watch it over like half of the newer stuff. So
it's great then.
God tier for DC. So can we agree pretty good for...
Sure, why not?
Alright.
I mean, that's only because, again, a lot of the older Batman movies, the only one that I've seen recently is Batman Forever. And I know that is not very good. And it's only good in the sense that it is laughably bad at this point.
So, because it is laughably... So let's jump into Batman Forever. Because it is laughably bad, which I totally agree 100%. would you put it at watchable? Because think about what you would put in unwatchable, and then think about this movie.
It is watchable.
Okay.
It's watchable if for no other reason than because it is hilariously bad.
I will also say, because I also did this, we didn't finish it, but I did this on this week's episode of That Pixel Life too, and Zach made the perfect point that Jim Carrey as the Riddler, as a villain, was way ahead of his time because he gave out a product for free to get everybody's information.
God damn it.
So he was Zuckerberg before Zuckerberg could Zuckerberg.
God damn it.
So for that reason alone, I was like, yeah, that's pretty great. So we'll put that as watchable.
Okay.
Here, so we've been focusing on some, let's jump to some
Well, we were going to do Batman and Robin.
Okay, so Batman and Robin.
I don't know if that's watchable. I mean, it's definitely lower than Batman Forever.
It is pretty bad. I just watched this recently, and like two of the main things I remember is one, Arnold Schwarzenegger's really bad Mr. Freeze puns. And
I mean, that's the thing that is rememberable about that movie.
That is true. That is one of the things I do remember about the movie. And two is Poison Ivy trying to kill Robin, but it doesn't work because he put tape on his lips so the kiss didn't kill him.
God damn. And isn't Bane in the movie too, of some variety?
Yeah, there's like a ton of villains, and like Bane looks like the comic book. Like, here, hold on.
Pull it up for all the fans.
Yeah, we're gonna pull up a picture of Bane from Batman. Was it Batman Forever?
Not because people probably haven't seen it, but because they need a refresher on it.
Forever Bane.
No, it's not. It's Batman and Robin.
God damn it. Batman Forever Robin Bane. Batman and Robin.
Apparently enough people Googled it to where they knew
There we go. Look at this. Like Macho Man Randy fucking Savage over here with the El Chupacabra mask.
He's got a spike belt around his waist.
Dude, honestly, if this picture doesn't make you want to watch the movie, I don't know what will. He looks like the lead singer of some, like, metal band opening for, like, Cannibal Corpse.
He looks like a Slipknot cover.
Yeah, dude, like, before I forget! I mean, look, he's, like, green.
Alright.
Oh, yeah.
We get it.
Whoa. Hubba. Alright. So, yeah. So, can we agree then that Batman Robin unwatchable?
Yeah, definitely.
Alright. Here, let's jump to something new. Here we go. Let's start throwing some punches here. Batman vs. Superman.
Again, like, I think most of the ones on this list I have watched once or I have not watched at all. With the exception of Watchmen. But Batman vs. Superman... I like it less than Aquaman.
Me too. Honestly, when I picked it, I'm thinking watchable. Like,
is it above Batman Forever?
So that's the thing. So I'm thinking, let's just put them in categories, and then at the end we will adjust them, and then maybe bump some up or down depending on where they fall. This alone. I'm thinking, I don't think it belongs under or in the same category as Batman and Robin, but I definitely agree that I also don't think it belongs up with Aquaman, which leaves it unwatchable.
Okay. I'm trying to remember the fucking movie, because it's been a while since I saw it in theaters.
They started fighting, and then the fighting stopped because they both realized
no, everybody remembers that part. I don't remember anything before that.
Lex Luthor pits them against each other, and he has hippie hair.
I will say this. I would put it above Batman Forever, just for the really cool kind of, like, nod to...
Bane?
No, the fight scene where Batman's ambushing people in that apartment.
Oh yeah, and it's like, do you bleed?
No, not that.
So, we agree then, watchable and
sure.
Before Batman Forever.
I think so.
Alright, here, let's jump to a classic, Green Lantern. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm putting that in. I have watched it once, but it is the only movie on this list. So there's a couple on here that I have not watched, like Jonah Hex and Steel.
Well, I know Jonah Hex is supposed to be awful.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But I mean, this stars Shaq, so that can't. That's already starting off on the wrong foot.
Yeah.
But I will say, so out of the remaining ones on this list, Green Lantern is the only one that I haven't seen the entire movie because I fell asleep during the middle of it. And I woke up at the very end when he destroys Parallax. So for me, that's automatically falling under unwatchable because I couldn't even finish it. Even as much as you cannot save this movie just because Sinestro.
I wish it could save the movie because he's so good as Sinestro.
I know. I'll admit it is great, and it set up. We could have had the Lantern Wars with the Fear Lantern Corps but we didn't get it.
No, we had weird Parallax out of nowhere.
The fact that Ryan Reynolds won't even defend this movie and openly mocks it and berates it every chance he gets tells me that Ryan Reynolds would want me to put it in unwatchable.
Sure, I can agree with that.
Alright. I'm like, now, do you think it's more watchable than Batman and Robin?
I do not.
Okay. We also agree on that. So then let's get Jonah Hex out of the way.
Neither of us have watched it, and it is well known for being terrible.
Yeah,
so let's put it down there.
I'm assuming it's worse than Green Lantern then, because I haven't even watched it. And let's just knock Shaq out of the way as well, because I know Matt hasn't seen it.
I haven't, but I'm pretty sure it's probably better than Green Lantern.
I also did not know this existed, where I knew about Jonah Hex at least, so I'm going to also put that behind Jonah Hex.
God damn it.
Alright. Shazam.
Shazam I really like. I like it a lot, honestly. That's probably... spoiler warning, but, that and Wonder Woman are probably my favorite DCU films.
Really?
Yeah, no, I really like Shazam. It's a fun movie. And it's, the first, DC film that I've walked out of where I'm like, yeah, that was a fun movie. And it doesn't feel like... It kind of has some early superhero film vibes where... it building up to the villain and just things getting rolling, but I think it's a fun movie. I would actually put it in great.
You'd put it in great?
I would.
See, I was thinking pretty good, but I am willing. I'm a compromised man. I did enjoy the movie. Got a couple chuckles. So I will, for right now, we'll throw it in great. And then let's jump on over to Catwoman.
No, that's bad.
So, bad watchable?
No.
Or are we talking bad unwatchable?
Nope, we're talking not watchable.
Now, in this list, now my thing is, I'm thinking, since I have actually seen it, it's automatically for me going in front of Jonah Hex, but is it going to go in front of Green Lantern?
I don't think so, because nothing in Catwoman is
redeeming.
Good.
Yep, alright.
There's no redeeming factors to Catwoman.
Alright. I will agree to that. So then let's upset Tanner. Let's jump on over to Man of Steel.
Oh, I thought we were gonna go to the Dark Knight trilogy if we were gonna upset Tanner.
Well, we'll do that one next. Let's knock out Man of Steel.
I think Man of Steel is definitely better than Batman vs Superman. But I'm also not a huge fan of the tone that they went with Superman.
So,
and I'm not against the whole Superman killing thing. That's not it. I would have liked for a more upbeat Superman movie, and I think they flew in the face of how you can make Superman interesting. And there's a whole argument to be had about how you make Superman interesting, and if you don't ground him and make him interesting in some sort of way by making him, I don't know, compromise his morals in some sort of way, that's the way to make Superman interesting, but I never thought that that's the case, and I think Marvel's, whole run of Steve Rogers is kind of, a lesson in, how you can make somebody who is uncompromising in their morals interesting by putting them into situations where their morals go up against something, and that's the interesting part. It's how their morals and their unwillingness to bend does something versus like, oh, I'm going to compromise on my morals and I'm going to kill somebody.
So my question is then, for Man of Steel, for me, my first instinct is to put it in decent, because I didn't think it was a horrible movie.
I don't think so either. I don't think it's a horrible movie.
Yeah. So, but I would also, for me, I would put it before Batman vs Superman. But I would
put it in decent.
Okay, so we can agree. Do you think it's better than Aquaman?
To be decided.
All right, so we'll just throw it after Aquaman for right now.
Yeah.
All right, so then let's start then with, let's go with Batman Begins over here.
I think Batman Begins is a solid superhero flick.
Me too. So I would put it, like, I don't know if I'd put it, like, I would definitely put it in pretty good. I don't know.
I might put it in great.
Great? Okay.
I might do that.
I'd be willing to put it in great, because
either above Batman in pretty good or below Shazam in great. Either one.
Alright, because I do like Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul. I thought he did a pretty good job, and it's like, alright, you know what, let's go.
I also I wasn't ground down by the Bale Batman voice at that point, but...
Yeah. So here, for right now, let's just put it at the top of pretty good. All of this is subjectable to change once everything's kind of in place, and then we can kind of get a good look at what we're looking at here. So then let's move on next to The Dark Knight.
Can we make another category for not a superhero film?
Oh, Tanner right now is like, he's like at his computer typing, and he just stops and looks up, and he knows.
Yeah, he hasn't even watched the podcast yet. He just knows what I've said.
See, so...
I don't think it's a bad film. I just do not, and I will continue to say this is the hill that I will die on. I do not think it's a good Batman film. So for me, I would put it in God tier. And I'm like, judging by your tone, that you do not want to put it in God tier. I mean, you can put it wherever the fuck you want, Justin. It's your podcast, but I'm giving my 2 cents, and I don't...
So, tell me, where would you put it then? Would you put it... Because it's definitely...
It's definitely a DC movie, you're absolutely right.
I think it's better... I would... So... Here's my I would go down to great. I don't feel like I could honestly put this lower than great.
I wouldn't put it I wouldn't put it too low. I don't think it's a bad film.
Would you put it before Shazam?
So the problem with this is that there's 2 ways of looking at this. You could look at it in terms of like superhero films and like in terms of like what you go into like a Batman film or like as a comic book fan or as someone who is a superhero fan expecting, or you could go into it like as a film fan. Tanner, being a film fan first, would obviously put it higher up on the list. I could bend and say that it is better than Shazam, but that's only because I know it's a good film. There's not like there's no flaws in the film. It's just, in terms of like it being a Batman movie, it's more of a gritty action movie. I mean, with some noir elements than it is like Batman detective work.
It totally is, but it's like, for me also, Heath Ledger's the best Joker.
See, you can't fucking judge a whole movie based off of the performances of one person.
But
because Green Lantern's down there.
Yeah, but Green Lantern is down there. But it's just as you said, this movie didn't have any flaws. This did.
I know.
Nothing but a series of flaws.
I know. I'm fine with it being where it's at.
All right, I'm fine with it being great. All right, let's.
Tanner's gonna be super upset that it's not hanging out there in God tier along with, you know.
Well, we'll get to
Christopher Nolan's dick.
Yeah, that is true. So then let's do Was it the Dark Knight? All right, Dark Knight Rises.
I fucking hate that movie.
Funny enough, I also hate this movie, and I know Tanner, I believe, likes this movie.
See, Tanner for the longest time defended that was the hill Tanner was gonna die on, and then time has passed, and I think now Tanner realizes that it really, honest to God, wasn't a good movie.
So, my real question, though, is how low are you willing to put this?
It's still watchable. It's not unwatchable.
Very true. I would also put it in watchable. Would you put it before Batman vs. Superman?
It's just as many fucking plot flaws as Batman vs. Superman does.
It does, and it's weird because I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I'm honestly like...
I think I would rather watch Batman vs. Superman.
That's my thing, that's the struggle for me, because I feel gross saying that, but at the same time, I'm like... I don't
want to watch The Dark Knight Rises again.
I was like, I would rather watch Batman fight Superman in Batman vs. Superman. I'd rather watch that fight than I would watch him fight Bane in this movie.
No, you're right, because the action scenes in Nolan's Batman are not good hand-to-hand combat scenes. He doesn't do a good job at it.
Yeah. When the best part of this movie for me is Joseph Gordon-Levitt as a detective.
Do you know how glad I'm gonna be whenever filmmakers move beyond using The Dark Knight Returns as the fucking basis for their films? I will be so fucking glad whenever that is not... We've moved beyond that one comic book arc and moved on to any of the number of good...
Better Batman stories.
Way better Batman stories. And that's another reason why I'm super excited for the new one, because it looks like, oh shit, it's not based off of The Dark Knight Rises. I mean, arguably it's year 2 Batman, but I mean, that's still better.
Alright, here, let's jump over Watchmen.
I really like Watchmen. I've watched The Watchmen probably more than any film on this list.
So yeah, for me, I would put this at God tier.
I don't think I'd put it at God tier.
Really?
I really like it. I acknowledge that the movie has flaws, and I acknowledge, like, that there are some changes that they made that kind of make it a little weird.
Cause see, for me...
It's definitely top of great for me, if not God tier. I do really like The Watchmen, though.
Cause see, for me, out of every movie on this list, and even if I was to throw on the Marvel Cinematic movies onto a list, Watchmen, I feel like, is the fucking closest to the actual comic book source material than any other comic book movie that exists.
No, I agree.
Like, they pretty much hit every plot point. The only thing that I honestly really noticed that they even changed was the ending. But the ending is still the same, it just happens differently. Mm-hmm. And I understand why they made the change, because giant squid monster thing exploding in the middle of New York.
No, it's super weird, and I get why they made that creative change. Like, I have no problem with that. I know Alan Moore has a problem with that, because Alan Moore is a cranky old wizard, but, I mean, it's fine either way. I'm fine with God tier, I'm fine with high grade tier, whatever you want to do.
Alright, we're gonna throw this in God tier for right now, since we got nothing in there, and
you need something.
Alright, here, speaking of something, Joker.
I mean, I've never seen it, so...
You haven't seen Joker
I still
yet?
haven't seen Joker.
Oh, man.
It's gonna be completely up to you at this point. I know that I've heard good things about it. That's the most that I've heard about it. Like, honestly, aside from me watching the trailer once, and then, like, I've heard good things about it. Like, I don't have any problem with the film. I don't have any problem with the direction that they took it, or that it's just kind of like a one-off, kind of its own thing. I don't have a problem with that at all. That it's like, yeah, sure, you could take the inspiration for Joker and do something with it. That's fine. I don't care.
Alright. I was like, if I had to pick where I think this should go, I would probably put it, like... I would put it at the end of great, and I would put it there because the movie is good. I do enjoy it. Joaquin Phoenix did a great job. but it's also one of those movies where it's like, I feel like since I've watched it, well, like I feel like I don't need to watch it again. Like I've seen it once, I enjoyed it, but it's kind of like one of those where it's slow.
It's very art house.
Yeah, it's very like A24, kind of like artsy. So I do enjoy it, and I think he did a good job of kind of showing the descent like into madness sort of thing, like, and that like people are like the real monsters were man, like sort of thing.
Mm.
But yeah, I still think it's great, but it's like I would totally watch Shazam. I would watch Shazam again before I would, like, if you handed me 2 DVDs of Joker and Shazam, I would pick Shazam every time.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's good. Here we go. Suicide Squad.
I don't like Suicide Squad at all.
And
Like, I mean, it had the potential to maybe be good, but like, it's just, it's kind of all over the map, and it's like not even in a good way.
Would you put it in watchable?
Maybe, probably.
Where in watchable would you put it? Would you put it before Batman? For me,
I would rather watch Batman Forever.
You would rather watch Batman.
Given the 2 movies, I would watch Batman Forever again.
All right. You know, and that's the thing is, I'm totally fine with that. Because, yeah, I paid money to see Suicide Squad.
So did I. And it's just like, and it's crazy because this is one of those cases where it's like, yeah, no, I'm totally going to go see James Gunn's Suicide Squad because I think that's going to be really good. This was not good.
It was like, for me, it was like one of those things where I went and saw it in theaters, and afterwards I was like, you know, it was okay. And then, like, the car ride home, thinking about it, or, like, usually, like, oh, you know, like, that's such a great movie, and you're thinking about it all the way home.
Yeah, you're thinking of all the good scenes or something.
But by the time I got back to the house from the movie theater, I was like, I liked the movie less, not more, than when I initially walked out of the theater.
God damn it.
So, yeah, I'm totally fine putting it behind Batman Forever. Alright, let's jump to another one over here. Let's go with the Superman... The fuck is that one?
That's Superman Returns.
Yeah, Superman Returns.
Yeah, that's
The only thing I even remember about this movie is in the trailer where the dude with the gun shoots the bullet, and in like slow-mo it hits his eye and the bullet just like crumples and the guy's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. Only thing me and Jess saw it once, and the only thing I remember about the movie is that the climax of the movie is that there's like Lex Luthor was like growing some sort of crystal city or something. I think.
Yeah, he like bought an island or something.
Yeah, there was like a plot like to like grow landmass or something. I can't remember exactly.
He's terraforming.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, no, I don't remember anything about this movie at all.
So
I don't think it's bad. Not that I remember, but I also don't know if it's unwatchable.
Would you watch it again over Suicide Squad?
I have no idea because I don't remember anything about the movie. I guess at least Suicide Squad, I remember that it was bad.
That's true.
It's just very forgettable. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to think. I mean, I would... So my thing is...
Maybe it's at the end of watchable?
Okay, because yeah, I was like, I would definitely, I think, pick Suicide Squad over that movie. But then I was like...
Have you seen it?
I have seen this. I watched it in theaters, I believe, when it came out. It's just, I haven't seen it again because I'm also not a big Superman fan. So, it's not like I go out of my way to watch Superman movies. Like, even fucking Man of Steel, I torrented that shit. Like, I didn't go see that in theaters.
I'll watch any of the animated Superman movies because those are good.
Those are good. Yeah, I like those ones. Like the Death of the Sun, the Red Sun.
Yeah, Superman, Red Sun.
Yeah.
And then you've got Death of Superman.
There we go. I was mixing both of those together. Oh, here we go. Wonder Woman.
That's up near Watchmen for me.
Okay, you would put it God tier.
I would. I love Wonder Woman. It is, without a doubt, my favorite of the new DC movies. I will acknowledge that it has some problems at the end, but I really do like Wonder Woman.
I'm willing to put it in God tier, but I want to put it behind Watchmen.
That's fine, sure.
All right, let's jump to Birds of Prey.
I didn't watch it, and I don't really have any intention of watching it, despite the fact that people have said that it's good. Like, I have no interest in watching a whole movie of Harley Quinn.
So, I also haven't watched it.
Oh, well, that's...
And I have it downloaded. I've had it downloaded for probably about 4 months now. And so, at the low price of free, I have the movie at home right now, and I haven't watched it. I've watched Sonic the Hedgehog before I watched this movie. And...
I mean, again, I've heard good things about the movie, again, from Tanner and Troy, so, I mean, that's definitely a biased party. But, I don't know, it could be good.
I would probably say it's watchable, but, again, because I haven't watched it, I don't know...
where to put it?
I mean, I guess if I put it as watchable, I feel like the only way I would do it
Are you more likely to watch it, that movie, or Suicide Squad again?
See, that's hard because I know Suicide Squad's bad. Or this, I don't know if it's bad or good. But, I mean, honestly... Alright. I would definitely probably put it before Suicide Squad. Since I just recently watched Batman Forever again, I don't feel like I can honestly put Birds of Prey when I had Birds of Prey downloaded and I watched Batman Forever.
You're like, I chose to watch Batman Forever instead of watching Birds of Prey.
Yeah, so I don't realistically feel like I could honestly put that before a movie that I actually have watched.
I mean, who knows, that might go up farther in the list at some point, but like, again, I haven't watched it, so I have no idea.
Alright, Batman Returns.
I think that, if I remember right, that's good.
Yeah, I do remember last time I watched it, I think I was over at Travis and Caitlin's and they had it on. It's got Penguin, it's got Catwoman, and she has like a pretty cool outfit. Wait, what's the plot for, I'm trying to remember, like all those movies kind of blend together.
I do remember that he had like that boat that was a rubber duck.
Oh yeah, also Tim Burton.
This is also Tim Burton's.
Yes, we got Danny DeVito's the Penguin, and what the fuck happens though? Here 1992. Okay, I want the plot.
Give me the
Gotham City. I want to say like Penguin's like planting bombs or some bullshit like around town. Oswald makes his presence known by rescuing the mayor's baby from a staged kidnapping attempt. I mean that's pretty funny. Gotham's Ice Princess. Man, dude, the plot for this is pretty fucking short. It's like 4 paragraphs. Batman foils the kidnappings. I mean, I remember watching it in theaters as a kid, and like I said, I remember watching it recently.
Maybe low decent? I don't remember at all, honestly.
I would definitely put it in decent. I mean, so indecent, I would put it between Aquaman and Man. I would probably watch this before I would watch Man of Steel. But that's just...
I mean, sure, why not?
All right,
I don't know.
We'll just throw it there. Here we go. Justice League. Matt's thinking so hard.
I am, because I'm trying to remember the fucking movie.
Batman has a mustache, and he's
you
dead.
You did it wrong again.
It basically took the plot of Injustice and put it into a 2-hour movie, where Batman goes bad, and
Aquaman's characterization's all weird.
Flash does some stuff, I guess.
I actually liked Ezra Miller's Flash a little bit. I mean, he didn't get to do much in the movie, you're absolutely right, but I also like Affleck's Batman. I really do. It's just...
So, I would put it... My general thing, I planned on putting this in watchable. I just don't know where in watchable. Because I think it is... I did watch it, so... I
think it's indecent. I just don't know where indecent.
So, I would definitely rather watch Aquaman over Justice League. For me, I would rather do that. I honestly don't know if I almost want to put it behind Batman Returns just because I know Tanner would fucking lose it.
What, that both...
That 1992 Batman Returns
That Justice
beats.
League, Batman vs. Superman, and Man of Steel are all behind that Batman movie?
Yeah.
I mean, for the laughs, it's good, but...
I mean, I don't know.
I'd probably put it either after Aquaman or before Aquaman. Sorry, in front of or behind. I'm not sure.
Alright, I'll meet you in the middle then, and I'll put it behind Aquaman.
Although, if I rewatch it, I probably would bump it back down. I've only seen it once.
Yeah. And, last but not least...
And Justin saved this one for last.
Of course I did. And you know where I want to put it.
It's probably unwatchable.
Matt, this movie is one that I go back every couple of years and watch.
I still haven't seen it at all.
It's so good. Shia LaBeouf is in it, and normally, there's only, a handful of movies where I can say Shia LaBeouf was actually good in the movie, and this is one where it's he has the perfect amount of screen time, and he's, Constantine's wannabe sidekick. I will admit, I think Keanu Reeves does a great job as Constantine. He's not Hellblazer Constantine. He's not the British, Constantine.
Really snarky.
Yeah, but he nails, I feel just being, pessimistic, Dick. And to this day, this movie contains I think, the coolest and best portrayal of the devil that I have seen in movies. And the entire, scene with him and, the devil at the end, helps make that ending. And I think it's good. And the movie came out in, 2005. And, the effects and everything, hold up beautifully. It still looks fantastic. It doesn't look
So
bad.
you would put this above The Dark Knight?
Honestly, I would.
I can't argue again because I've never seen the movie. I would be willing to bet that a movie from 2005 is not better than some of those higher tier movies, but
I think it is. I think it's Matt hasn't seen it, but I think you would enjoy this movie.
I think that Justin has a hard-on for Keanu Reeves, so that might be a little bit of bias going on. I don't know where it's going. I don't care.
I'm putting it.
You're like, it's my podcast.
It's great. I'm putting it in great. If it was up to me, it would go in God tier near Watchmen. But I'm willing to meet in the middle, do some compromising. I'm still putting it in front of Dark Knight. I don't care what Tanner says. Matt, if Tanner wants to bitch, Matt's the one that got Dark Knight as low as it is anyway. I wanted to put it in God tier, so because of Matt, it's
if you put it in God tier, you're just going to put Constantine one above it in God tier.
Alright, so the list is finished. Let's give it a once over here. Let's start from the top. Alright, so we got God tier, we got Watchmen, and Wonder Woman.
I think that's fine.
Any complaints? Alright, I'm good with that.
I don't think I have any complaints. We kind of sorted it as we were going, so I don't really think I have any complaints anyway.
Yeah, great. We ended with Constantine, The Dark Knight, Shazam, and Joker, which I'm fine with.
I mean, I'm fine with most of these, given the fact that I have watched most of these maybe once.
Alright, pretty good. We ended with Batman Begins and the 1989 Batman. Decent, we ended with Aquaman, Justice League, Batman Returns, and Man of Steel. Watchable, we ended with Batman vs. Superman, The Dark Knight Rises, Batman Forever, Birds of Prey, Suicide Squad, and Superman
Returns.
God damn. All these things with Batman Returns, Superman, why is everyone returning? And then
they're coming back from space.
Just like Cap. And then unwatchable, we have in the tier of shame, which it's funny that about almost 33% of the movies in the unwatchable literally have not been watched. And so we got Batman and Robin, Green Lantern, Catwoman, Jonah Hex, and Steel.
Well, I've seen exactly one of those, so...
And it was Catwoman.
No.
So, I'm pretty proud with the list. Like, I don't have any, like, really major upsets.
I don't know if I'd say proud about it, but, I mean, whatever you want.
DC's not proud of it.
I mean, they shouldn't be.
But, I mean, in terms of, like, it's one of those things where I don't feel like, this deserved to be here. I feel gypped. Like, I feel like everything was judged pretty fairly, and I feel like it was put where it belongs.
Man, that alone is gonna upset one person at least.
I mean, if Tanner wants to be upset, tell DC to make better movies.
I mean, it looks like they're going to.
I mean, yeah, everything looks promising now, but it's like, bro, sorry, Batman vs Superman fucking sucked. Like, it's not my fault.
Man, I was hoping that Aquaman would be higher up. I honestly had some high hopes for it, just seeing how the design for Black Manta was, but it's like, nah, he's a throwaway villain.
Yeah, the only reason, too, that I also have it as top tier indecent is because me and Megan watched it, and we laughed pretty hard at some parts, and she actually wanted to watch it again a couple days later because we were making fun of it while we were watching it, and she enjoyed doing that, wanted to do it again, but we couldn't do it because I immediately deleted the movie after we watched it. So I was like, I'm not re-downloading it again. So, but yeah, I think that's good. I think that's a solid list of some movies. I would like to have Matt on again to do this with the Marvel movies, or
even the animated DC movies, which
true.
I like a lot of those a lot more.
See, my problem with the DC animated ones is there would be no watchable and unwatchable tier, because I think all of them are at least bottom tier decent.
I could argue that there's a few of them that are kind of like meh.
Like what?
I want to say Batman Bad Blood is kind of like, it's okay.
Well, yeah, that's why it would be decent. I think it'd be in, but it's not like... I would also... I
would also argue that there's a lot... I mean, never mind, there are some unwatchable Marvel ones. If we're going full...
Marvel animated sucks.
I was gonna say, if we're doing all Marvel live action, then yeah, no, we do have some unwatchable bullshit in there, because you've got, like, Daredevil, and you've got, like, Ang Lee's Hulk.
Oh, dude, I totally forgot about that. Because, so, initially with this list, I initially was going to combine... I was actually going to not include... My initial plan was I wasn't going to include any of the DC, like, universe movies, and it was going to be strictly non-universe DC movies and non-universe Marvel movies together. And, yeah, dude, that Daredevil's rough. Elektra sucks.
Oh, I forgot Elektra was a thing.
Yeah. Punisher Warzone was bad. I actually, if we were doing that, the 2000, when did that movie come out? 2002 Punisher, the first Punisher movie, I would actually put that Punisher movie, the lowest I'd be willing to go is pretty good.
I couldn't rank any of the Blades, though, because that's also something I've never seen.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't think... Even though I've seen the first and I want to say the second one. I don't think I ever saw the third one, but I only, again, watched those like once. But from what I remember, I honestly don't think any of the three Blade movies would probably fall lower than decent. Yeah.
That's all I've heard too, is I've heard good things about those. And then, like, I would say probably the top of that tier list would probably be like First Class or...
that's true. Yeah, I wasn't even...
Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
What about X-Men Last Stand?
Yeah, I thought it goes unwatchable. I would never fucking watch that again.
But you watched it, so it's obviously watchable.
I mean, I've watched Batman and Robin, too.
Electric Boogaloo.
What else would not... Never mind. I know what would go in God tier. Logan.
Oh.
Logan would go in God tier.
Dude, what about
X-Men Origins?
Yeah.
No, that's also an unwatchable. That's worse than... I would rather watch Daredevil.
Oh my god, I was about to ask you if you would rather do that.
I would rather watch Daredevil. I don't know if I'd rather watch Elektra, though.
I wouldn't. I would rather watch Old Man Logan. Not Old Man Logan, god damn it, X-Men Origins.
Yeah.
You were right, though, like, for DC Animated, Bad Blood is, like, I would put Bad Blood, like, lower.
Yeah.
I would definitely put Flashpoint in God tier.
Well, Flashpoint's really good. Obviously, Mask of the Phantasm needs to go up there.
Where would you put the Batman Beyond Return of the Joker?
Been a while since I've watched it. It's probably pretty good or great.
I mean, I would definitely...
We're already running through this. This is stupid.
Yeah, but I would definitely put it... I wouldn't put it any lower than pretty good. I would say it's pretty good. Or, like, somewhere, like, amongst great. Depending on what the other
I wish they had more Flash movies, honestly. But...
what was the... There was another... I'm trying to remember what the other... There was a DC animated one that I was... Oh! The fucking... What is it? Last Laugh? Is that it? The one, they changed it to where fucking Bruce ends up having sex with Barbara.
Oh yeah, that one's kind of
weird.
weird.
Which never happened.
Oh yeah, I forgot that whole movie.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Like, I was looking forward to that movie, and then I got to that scene, and I was like, what are you doing?
That's very weird.
I was like, she's also, like, a kid.
She's also, like, your friend's daughter.
Yeah, and you're, like, banging her on this building.
I don't know. That's some weird creative decisions, but, you know, whatever. I don't know.
I was also like, Hush also kind of disappointed me a little bit.
Really? You didn't like Batman Hush?
Like, I loved the comic.
Well, yeah, I know that.
And the movie I thought was... I didn't think it... Like, I definitely wouldn't put it under anything like... It would not go lower than decent. But I thought it was good. It's just like... My problem is... There was so much story that you could only I know you can only fit so much.
Well, it's just because Hush is such an intricate detective story.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like Superman. Like there was like from what the actual animated movie showed to the comic, they cut like 10 characters I think out of from the comic to adapting that. Like the story was so condensed that I feel like Hush is a badass, and it's, like, really amazing, and I feel like the animated movie made him not as amazing because you didn't get to experience the full thrill of going through everything that he did.
I'll tell you what either great or god tier one for me is Emerald Knights, Green Lantern Emerald Knights, and it's just... So what they're trying to do is they're trying to contain whatever's going on with the sun. And it's just all the Green Lanterns trying to do that. But while they're doing it, they're all reciting, like, different, like, war stories that they've heard. And it's just different stories about different Green Lanterns. And it's just like an anthology story. And it's really cool that they're just talking about different Green Lanterns. And it's just really neat.
See, I was going to say, the one I was thinking you were going to say that I would also place in God tier is Under the Red Hood.
I don't know if I'd put that one that high up.
Really?
Yeah, no, I like
put it under great?
I'd put it probably in great. I wouldn't put it in God tier, though.
Well, see, I was thinking, like, end of God tier, but... Well, alright, if you would only put it in great...
I mean, I try to reserve God tier for stuff that, like, I would watch over and over again, probably.
Like Batman vs. Superman. That's like, well, everybody, it's been a great podcast, you know.
It's been super great. Okay, it's only been an
hour and 40. But, I mean, I'm happy with the list. We covered the DC stuff.
We'll cover the Marvel stuff. And I think even on the Marvel side, while it would be more top heavy for me, I don't think I would put any more than a few films in God tier for me.
All right. If you had to pick three for God tier.
Oh, that's easy.
3 for God tier.
Yep, super easy.
Okay, what were the 3?
It would be Guardians 1, Civil War, and one more. Yeah, no.
What?
I was about to say Ant-Man as a joke, but no.
What?
No, as a joke, I wouldn't put Ant-Man that high up. It would probably be either Endgame or Infinity War.
See, you said Civil War, but did you mean Winter Soldier?
I didn't.
Oh.
I Winter Soldier would probably be down one in grade. It would be like high grade tier. Same thing for Guardians 2.
Yeah, I mean, I will agree. I like Guardians 1 more than Guardians 2.
I like Guardians 2 just because, like, everything with Yondu and Rocket is just amazing. Like, they did a really good job with just the characterization and, like, flushing out some of the characters and making you care about them a lot. But there's some weird stuff in Guardians 2 just a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, like...
there is a few that I would probably put in, like, barely watchable. Like, I've watched the movie, but I would never watch it again.
Incredible Hulk.
I actually don't mind Incredible Hulk. It's probably the highest one on unwatchable. Maybe even low watchable for me.
It's definitely watchable, but I can't tell you the last time I actually
watched it. I would rather
it.
watch that over either Iron Man 2 or Thor 2 or even Thor 1.
I would honestly... Here's a hot take for you. I would rather watch that movie than Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I just recently watched Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's not bad. It's
they butchered.
I know. I was about to bring it up. You just have a hard on for Ghost.
And because they butchered it, man. Like they pooched it.
I know. Ghost is like your favorite villain.
My whole
D-list villain.
My whole thing is so Ant-Man 1. The villain is basically like a shrinky suit. Like, whatever. It's basically like a mirror of Ant-Man, but with wings.
Yeah,
totally get it.
Same.
It's fine. It's a suit. So then I'm thinking, alright, then what's going to be the villain for the next one? Alright, Ghost. Another person with a suit, but they don't shrink, they don't but I'm like, okay, more suit-based villains. Fine with that. One problem. Ghost in the movie doesn't get the powers from the suit. They just have powers, and the suit somehow controls it or helps. And I'm like, that's not what he does. And I get they made it a chick, and so some gross dude who's like weird. And it's like, okay, fine. I don't care that you made it a woman. I don't care that you can't change. But it's like, you're changing the powers. You're changing the gender and like this, the general way the character acts. And then at the very end of the movie, it's like everyone's kind of like, oh, we did it, guys. Like, and
see, I don't mind some of the changes. The thing that I have a problem with Ant-Man and Wasp is that it's like you at the very end you just get Deus Ex Machina, and it's like, okay, Janet's back. Okay, she can magically fix her. Everything's good now. And I hate it. I hate the ending to the movie. And in reality, they could have used Ghost in almost a similar fashion to the way that Ghost is in the comic books, where they are someone who is like a corporate spy, and they're trying to steal secrets from Hank Pym and stuff like that. That would have totally worked as a really good villain. And I don't mind the route that they went. I just wish that she would have been more of a villain instead of it being like, oh, her powers are fixed and now everything's fine.
No, I 100% agree, which is why I put it so low.
And I'd watch it again still.
Well, I mean, I would watch it, like I said, like, objectively. Honestly, I would watch Ant-Man and the Wasp over Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3. I do not like either of them.
Iron Man 3 has some good points. I would
butchered Extremis. We could have had Extremis suit.
Oh, we did have it.
Yeah, later.
I don't care anymore.
They messed that storyline up so hard.
I got the Extremis. I'm fine.
You got Rescue and whatever, but it's like, bro, they ruined the Mandalorian.
Yeah. This is the way. There's some parts to Iron Man 3 that make it redeemable. All of the stuff with, like, AIM and, like, whoever the fuck the guy in the main villain is in that movie. I can't even remember his name. Killian. Everything about, like, he's just not a good villain. He's just boring. And he's just so boring.
I mean, I would probably put Iron Man 3 before Iron Man 2.
I definitely would before. Yeah, sorry, you mean after? You mean...
I would rather watch Iron Man 3
Well,
over
no,
Iron
that's
Man 2,
true,
yeah.
I agree. But I will agree that Ant-Man and Wasp is definitely one of the meh Marvel movies.
I'll agree to that.
I mean, so is Iron Man 3 in my opinion. What else is kind of a meh Marvel movie? I'm trying to think now. There's been so many fucking movies at this point.
Thor?
Oh man, I almost want to change one of my god. I almost want to swap out one of them. Like, no, I can't swap out one of my god tiers for one of the Spider-Man movies because those are really good too. Those are both of the Spider-Man movies going great for me.
Yeah, I would definitely put them both in great. I would also put Doctor Strange in great.
I mean, I also really like Doctor Strange, if for no other reason than because it's slightly different from the other ones, and it doesn't end in a giant superhero battle at the very end.
That was my thing, is one...
You can't beat Dormammu, so it's like they did something cool where you aren't just like superpower fighting people.
That was the big three things for me. One, Cucumber killed it as Doctor Strange. I'm like, two, they kind of, in a time where it's like the Marvel movies now are kind of coming out like every year, twice a year, like whatever, they really shook up, I feel like, their like formula of the movie because of the ending and stuff like that, and did a really good job. And three, to this day, I think the only thing maybe even comparable to it would be like Infinity War, Endgame, whatever. Visually, it is breathtaking.
Oh, yeah,
some of the shit
good.
that they do, it is just like mind-blowingly good. We just watched it again not that long ago, and just watching it is just a like visual acid trip treat to the eyes.
Trying to think if there's anything else I'd put in meh. I'm actually trying to remember movies now.
Here, you know what? Here, while we'll finish up. Ooh,
just briefly looking at the Marvel movies.
Yeah,
real quick,
let's
because
pull,
now that we're talking about it, I kind of actually do want to remember some of these.
Yeah, list of Marvel
Cinematic Universe. Nope. Marvel. Right there. Next
Cinematic
one.
Universe. Yeah. Good guy Wikipedia. The Infinity Saga, as the kids call it. Alright. So, yeah, Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain... Ooh. For me, I would put First Avengers, man.
See, it's either... It's high up there for... it's not like...
It's not low, man.
No, it's like the highest of those for me. Like, I've always loved, the characterization of Cap.
What about Age of Ultron?
I recently watched Age of Ultron again, and while I don't like all the characterization of Ultron, it's not completely irredeemable.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's definitely decent. Guardians, Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther.
Man, I forgot how...
I would put Captain Marvel as man all day.
I would too. There's nothing really remarkable about it.
I've honestly seen that movie twice, and for the love of it, I've seen it twice. I've seen it in theaters. I fucking fell asleep, and then I actually watched it all the way through again, and it's like, honest to God, like, I mean, and that's the sad part. I like her as Ms. Marvel. I have nothing against Brie Larson as I thought she did a decent... It's just, I can't tell you anything that happens in that movie.
See, I also agree. I don't think Brie Larson's a bad actor for her. It's just, I have always thought Captain Marvel is just the most bland character. Like, in the comic books, everything, they have tried their very best to make her interesting, and I have never found a way to gravitate towards her in any regard. And I think they've tried to do some, like, more interesting stuff with her, and I know some of the writing's been good on some of these, the, not more recent runs, but, like, maybe a few years back, but I, for the life of me, can't do it. I just, like, her character is just not interesting to me at all.
Dude, I did not know that. I can't believe Iron Man came out in May of 2008, and then damn near a month later, that Incredible Hulk came out.
Oh, I didn't know that it was that close together.
That is weird. And then after Incredible Hulk, it was 2 years before Iron Man 2.
I don't know where I would put the original Avengers anymore.
I would still put original Avengers in,
because I don't know how well that's held up, because I haven't watched it again. I know the last act's pretty fun, but
yeah, I mean the whole, like, I know with Hawkeye and stuff, like his whole kind of storyline, I think it's kind of like boring or whatever.
Well, I also hate Joss Whedon's characterization of Cap.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it's, like, good.
Yeah, I would say so.
Like, I don't think it would be at the front of the good, but I'd probably put it somewhere in the middle of good.
Almost rewatching it, I would almost maybe put Age of Ultron above it. That might be blasphemous, but I don't know if I would or not. I might. If for no other reason than some of the character building scenes, and, like, the farmhouse scene's really good, I think. Where it's just, like, a more down-to-earth kind of thing. And then I also have a soft spot for any, like, sort of superheroes in downtime kind of thing, and they have that whole party scene at the very beginning where they're trying to pull the hammer. Great. No, like, and I have a soft spot for that kind of stuff for superheroes, and it's just like, yeah, no, they're just doing stuff. And it's like, that's cool. I would love more of that every once in a while.
Yeah, like, I think that's, like, hard too, because I think you're right, like, because they're kind of, like, already established and, like, whatever, it's like, there's better kind of, like, monologue and stuff in that one between characters and stuff, I think, because they're all kind of friends. And I think, I don't know, like, I think that one, I thought it was good. I thought it was more in it. Like, my thing, too, is, like, I like the fact that, like, Hawkeye actually has a part in it.
Yeah.
Besides just, like, the last half of the movie.
Yeah, I also wish that they did more with Hawkeye and just in general in the cinematic universe. I love Hawkeye a lot.
Right.
And they just didn't do a lot with him. Arguably, he got shafted more than Black Widow did. I mean, at least Black Widow's getting her own movie, whereas Hawkeye probably won't even be getting the TV show anymore after all the stuff that happened with the actor.
After also Disney just has been hemorrhaging money for months.
Yeah, that too. Anyway, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I'm sick of sweating in this room.
I mean, I've heard worse excuses to end the podcast. So, before we go, I mean, thank you for listening.
Justin has a giveaway. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Don't fucking say that. I'm giving away Boss Battle. You just have to go to the Kickstarter and back it.
No, don't. Yeah, do that.
That's like, no, wait. So, it's currently sitting at, judges say, there we go.
Same amount.
27,544. 3 days to go. It's going to end at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on Thursday. So, you have chance to, go back it. Check it out. If you have Tabletop Simulator, you can play a cool version of it on there. If you don't have Tabletop Simulator, just DM Matt and he'll buy you a copy of it so that you can play the game. He loves doing that for anybody who backs the game. So, and yeah, there's some stretch goals and stuff that have been unlocked, since we were even doing the podcast. Let me scroll down past all the cool information that nobody reads. There's got stretch goals. We got the level 1 hero cards and Dark Mage subclass, and so we're working up our way towards the Linen Finish tokens, and then we got Vengeful Priestess after that. So, hopefully we can get get some of these unlocked before the Kickstarter ends, so check it out. There's a cool video that shows you how to play, and Matt was updating it earlier today with cool GIFs.
Ugh.
So, look at that GIF.
Well, that's the end of it. Bye, everybody. We're done.
Yeah, that's how the guy who made them said that it's pronounced, so he can't be wrong. Can he?
Yeah.